I didn't forget. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and just get started. It's 8:01, and after we kind of get going, I'll enter all of your names into Random Name Picker, and at the end of the call, we will draw for one of you to win this beautiful hat, and I'm going to the post office tomorrow so we can mail it tomorrow. Okay, guys, welcome to November, and thanks for being on this team call. We absolutely love these calls and seeing your faces and connecting with you all. I'm super inspired by how many of you are getting on. This is so exciting. We still remember the day when it was just be me and Monica. And we would talk to each other and we would do it anyway, and we would post the recording because we knew that someday there would be people on this call, and now they are. And so it's so exciting. So we have a super special guest tonight. I'm so excited to introduce her. Sara Anderson. I'm sure you guys have all seen her, even if you're new. I'm sure you've seen her on your posts. Sara is so good at getting to know people in her downline, whether they're her first level or her 10th. She really wants to connect with everybody in her organization, and I really admire her for that. Love her on Insta, yes. Sara has been such a gift for us. She is not our upline. She's actually like our great-great-great-great-grandmother. Which makes me really laugh when I say that because she's such a cute little blonde bombshell. But she doesn't really owe us anything in terms of help or any of that, but she has been so helpful from the very beginning, so supportive, and now she's really become one of our very best Zaya friends, and we're so lucky to know her and to get to work alongside her. So we're really excited to bring her into the fold. She's done a team call for us before, but it's been a while. So Sara's going to talk about recruiting because one of the things I love about Sara is that not only is she managing a really large team, over $1 million team as of 2 months ago, I believe, but she also does the work. She's recruiting a lot of people to her business, and she has really high sales numbers as well. So it's not like she's just sitting back and resting on her laurels. She's still working the business every day, and I really admire that. So she's going to share some recruiting tips. Sara, so I was thinking you could do your little story about how you started in Zaya and where you're at. Let's do the recruiting tips, and then if you could end with the Success in 60, go over some of that, because Sara's sort of the mastermind behind that, and we had a couple questions behind the scenes about Success in 60, so I thought she would be a really good one to answer those. Okay, does that sound good? All right. Perfect. I will mute myself, and you can take it away.
Okay. You guys, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. When Katie asked me to come on, am I breaking up at all, by the way? Okay, I told my kids to turn off the TV. I feel like we live in the boonies because if something's running, the computer breaks up. So that's what I was doing, is like with all the exclamation points, turn off the TV! But thank you so much for letting me come on tonight. I just want you guys to know, I do owe you. I watch you guys, and she said, I don't owe you anything. I do. I love connecting. I love watching. I hear your names a lot. This is really a powerhouse team, and you guys are run by two incredible women, and the leadership that you have throughout your team is insane. And I am just grateful for you guys, for your examples to everybody around you, and for being willing. I know we've had a few of you come and speak on Papaya, on our team page, on our bigger team page, and I'm just so grateful for you guys for helping with that. But first, okay, she wanted me to introduce myself. I've been with Zaya actually since day one. I knew Erin Bradley in high school, and Zaya, or selling, not Zaya, selling or direct sales was not in my future, in my brain. I never wanted to do something like this because I actually have a very high, if you have been at any of the summits, you know this, but I have a very high, I gotta throw my phone because it's gonna keep dinging, social anxiety factor. And so selling something to anybody was really actually quite scary to me, but I was in a position in my life that I needed a distraction from my reality. So we ended up jumping in day one, nobody knew what they were doing. Corporate kind of knew what they were doing. We were jumping in and picking up products from Erin's living room. It was kind of crazy. And then from there, I just decided, you know what, I can make this. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to run with it and make it whatever it is that I want it to look like. And that's kind of what we did. I hid behind a fake persona for a little bit. I kind of was like the Beyonce thing. I had to be this person to what I felt like be successful. And so I hid behind that. And what I found is as soon as I dropped that mask of who I felt like I needed to be is when I really found success with this business. And I feel like that is something that we talk about all the time, is being yourself, and who you are really matters and is what's going to make the difference. So, coming to now, it's been 2.5 years, and we are now, you guys are all a part of our team, and we just hit we were like $3,000 away from $1.3 million in October, which is insane. And in August, we did just under 800,000. So we've had a 61% growth since the end of August to now. It was a 61% growth in 61 days. So that in our group volume, which is kind of insane. So that's kind of where we're at. And it's been such a whirlwind. And tonight, Katie asked me to talk on recruiting, which I was like, yeah, I'm going to talk on recruiting. That's honestly one of my very favorite things. I love bringing people into this business, and it's not something that I've ever at first came naturally to me, because I felt like I needed to be like a army recruiter. Like, do you want to join me? Do you want to join me? Do you want to join me? Join my team, join my team. And what I realized quickly is that's not recruiting at all. And so I feel like that's kind of when I fell into my niche, is when sharing this business was recruiting. And we'll kind of go into that a little bit more than, join my team, join my team, join my team, the sharing and the inviting. I talked to my coach, Sam Higginson, and I said, Sam, I have a lot of people that, and I thought I was doing recruiting wrong. I said, I have a lot of people that ask me about recruiting, and I don't necessarily know what to tell them, because I don't necessarily think that I'm like, this one thing is what I do that works. And he said, well, the thing about recruiting, Sara, is it's actually not called recruiting at all, but it is called creating awareness. And I loved that. Let's take out the word recruiting, because I feel like that can almost seem like a daunting word. We're trying to recruit a team. We're trying to recruit and have people join us. But I feel like at the end of the day, if we can create awareness for what it is that we're doing, for the business opportunity, for our own business, for our brand, then that is what actually is going to make the difference in us recruiting and growing our team. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is the different ways that you can create awareness throughout your team. Now, and throughout your business. But what I am going to say, and I'm going to just put this out here, is I don't necessarily think what I'm going to say is going to be earth-shattering. I know it's not. I know it's not, because there's definitely not a this is recruiting, right? There's definitely not like only do this, or this is what you have to be doing. I feel like there's a wide range of things that you can be doing, and maybe there's things tonight that you'll see that maybe you could be doing more of, and maybe you're lopsided and you're doing a lot of this and not so much this. And so we're going to kind of go over a few things to do. What does creating awareness look like, also known as recruiting, and how can you incorporate that into your business and be a little bit more balanced in doing so. So and you guys can add to the comments, what does creating awareness look like in your business? It is posting, obviously. It is doing parties and events. It's booths. It's getting your name out there through those events, because in parties, you have a captive audience. You're not just posting through social media hoping somebody sees your little square on the internet. You are posting to specific people who hopefully have their notifications on. You're creating awareness in events. You're going live and doing Instagram stories or Instagram TV. You're doing stories. You're reaching out to your cold and warm market through your list, but you're also reaching out to your warm market and your friends and family, right? And you're also finding those people online that you want on your team, and you're reaching out to those people. You're creating connections. I'll actually just put my notes up here so I'm not looking down. Just kidding, they're gonna bend. Okay, you're creating connections in person. That is something that I vowed I would never do. In fact, somebody told me, I had 8 people in one yoga class when I first started telling me they liked my leggings, and I just was like, thank you. because I was like, nope, I'm not telling them I sell these. That would be totally embarrassing. When in reality, I should have said that, right? And my husband was like, you're an idiot. I cannot believe you did not say to one of them that you sell these. And I was just like, no, I just was like, thank you. And then I like snuck out of class early so nobody could talk to me. That's where I came from. But now you better believe I'm talking to like the dentist receptionist, and she's like, those are cute joggers. Oh, thanks. Have you heard of Zaya? I'm passing along those cards. No, I'm not the girl that runs and that doesn't matter if you are, but no, I'm not yet the person that has the courage to chase the girl at the airport and tap her on the shoulder and be like, here's my card. But I am somebody that will create those relationships and will respond that I do sell it. So I am connecting in person. I am building relationships online. I don't always reach out with hey girl messages. That's not how I decided to run my business, but that works for so many people. I like to follow people, 5 to 10 new accounts every single month, and I like to get to know them. I don't know that they're going to be good at it. I don't know that it's something that they want to do, but I do want to get to know them. And just by me contacting them, talking to them, commenting, not about Zaya, maybe about their cute baby, I created awareness. They're like, who the heck is Zayaware? And they're going to come and see what I'm doing. And because of my posts and the other ways I've created awareness, they're seeing it. So, and then obviously selling your products. What better way to connect and get people excited about this business than getting them into some leggings, into some light and tights. And then they're like, oh, okay, these rock. I can totally sell these. So those are a few ways that you can create awareness. If you have any more ideas, then totally write them in the comments, but those are just some ways that I came up with. And then something that I like to do to check my business and to check how balanced I am is by creating this wheel. And it's ugly, and I couldn't find the original thing. We created it. Chrissy Tager did a training on it. I don't even want to show you my wheel because it's very ugly, but it's like 3 steps ahead of where you're supposed to be. So what I want you guys to do, and you can do it right here, you could do it later, but this is a way I check, am I struggling in recruiting? Okay, where am I struggling? Because until you know where you're struggling, you don't know where to improve. And so I go and I say, okay, so I make spokes, right? You're going to make a wheel. Or somewhere in Teams Iowa, we have this wheel. So I made a wheel, and then in each of these lines, I did a different topic. I did posting, connecting outside of social media, doing lives, parties, and events. I named them all something different of all the things that we just did. Building relationships, reaching out, customer sales, and then I have a short one. So if you have an extra, we can add it right here. And then on each of these, you're going to make little lines so you can rate yourself. Now, what I ended up doing is I went and I rated myself on a scale of 1, these are 7, but say it's 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I put a little dot with 1 being closest, and then I connected those. So if you look really closely, there is an obvious, now this was just me pretending, but there's going to be an obvious hole. There's going to be an obvious flat side to your will. Not all of us are perfect, and it's not supposed to be perfectly round, but there is going to be an obvious flat side. And this is something that I just recently was made aware. I looked at my business and I thought, oh my gosh, and I shouldn't repeat this here, I haven't hosted a party in 3 months. Like that's my flat side. So if I'm not recruiting, that's somewhere I can start looking to see where I can improve, because I may be like, I am posting, nobody's listening. I am reaching out, nobody's responding. I'm doing all these things. But the reality is there's always a spot that you can improve. And maybe it's not posting more. Maybe it's hosting parties. And so that's something that I like to do to check. And it's something that is a wake-up call for me to go, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I haven't hosted a party in 3 months because I've been so busy coming up with my posts and coming up with all these other things. So definitely do that. I think you could do it in life. You could do it in anything that you do, but that's something that I like to do in recruiting or different things specifically in my business to kind of see the holes. Now, in each of those spokes, I mean, there's a lot of different subtopics in posting, right? There's lots of different things that you can do to connect. There's lots of different things that you could talk about in your life. Like these are all just these main categories, but they are not everything. And there's so many different ways that you can branch out inside of these categories. So something that I like to, I've kind of just come up with some tips. I feel like there's a million things that we can go over. I don't want you here all night. This is going to be, you know, not super long either. But there are some things that I like to focus on because there's a million things. I always say there's so many shiny things to focus on in this business, but there are some things that are important and some things that are the most important in, you know, I guess it's personal preference, but to focus on. My thing right now is I'm focusing, number one, when I'm reaching out, when I'm posting, when I'm talking, is I'm thinking about, I need to know my tribe. Who are the people you want to connect with? And somebody said something to, probably it was Katie or Monica or somebody, and it was, when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. When you are throwing out your broad blanket of join me, you're speaking to no one. Well, why do they want to join you? Who are you talking to? Write that down. Who do you want to work with? Who is it? Who is the type of girl? What does she like? What does she need? And that's who you're going to be talking to. So you need to know your tribe, because when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Number two is build relationships. We're in the relationship business. Now, relationships don't always start in with the cold messages. That's why I like to follow people before I even bring up Zaya. I like them to see what I'm doing before I talk to them about it. Everybody has a personal preference. Some people's cold messaging is perfect for them because that's them authentically being themselves. That is not me being authentically me. And so it comes across as like very unauthentic and like they don't like me. Okay. So, and you like get hate mail back. So that's not me. So I've decided that I'm going to build relationships first. Is that following 5 to 10 people a week and getting to know them, commenting on their stuff, watching their stories. And, you know, that can be a lot. And maybe it's 5 people a week. But it's when you create those relationships, then when you talk about Zaya, they're not like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're like, oh my gosh, I see what you've been doing and I want to hear a little bit more about it, right? And maybe they don't, and that's okay. The next thing is in building relationships is you cannot be in a relationship with somebody, like not even a serious one, not even a pretend one, with somebody that's one-dimensional. Like that's super boring, right? So I like to make sure, and I loved this app at Summit, which was Kendra Hall talking about telling your story. Something that hit me is I can tell you guys my story of me and my husband 2.5 years into this business. He's doing his own startup. He actually is doing talking about what he's doing, what I'm doing, and we get to both stay home together. Well, that doesn't relate to very many people. What I can talk about is how I got here. So how I build relationships is also talking about my story, but not my story necessarily right now all the time. Yeah, I can say that, but where are they? And I'm going to meet them there, and I'm going to talk about how I got here, because I was once where they are, and why they should join me, because they can see themselves in me, but they can't see themselves if I'm only talking about these cute leggings, if I'm only talking about, that they're squat proof. But if I'm saying, look, I had severe social anxiety and depression. I was crying in my closet at night, but I decided I needed an outlet. And even though this came in the form of something I never cared to do, it ended up saving, I feel like our marriage, it ended up saving our family, it ended up saving me mentally. And so that's a lot more relatable than these awesome leggings, which are awesome. And I feel like they have their own selling features to the opportunity, right? Because we want people to try them. That's another way to create awareness. But there's a lot deeper ways to connect. And when I connect with them where they're at, then I could take them along my journey with me, and the relationship is already there. So share your story. And then the last thing that I think is huge is creating a mindset that you're not connected to the outcome of their answer. Because I feel like when you start hyper-focusing on their answer, then they're the only person that matters. And in reality, this business is here to bless so many that when you hyper-focus on one and what this person's doing or what they're saying, or that they've dragged their feet for 3 months, how many people have you missed out on talking about them or talking about it to them? Quit hyper-focusing on anyone. You are there to create awareness. You're there to invite. You're there to show and engage and create relationships. And I promise you that when they say no, and we've all heard this, every person that told me, which it took a lot for me to reach out to people at the beginning, like I was like, you should join me, like really awkward, and then they were like, no. I went home and I was like, I will never ask anybody to join me in this business again, to my husband, because that was so painful for me. But they're all on my team. every single person that told me no at the beginning joined a year and a half later, and they are very sad that they joined a year and a half later. But you guys, they joined because they were watching, and me asking, even if it was awkward, even if it was probably not the way I would have done it now, brought awareness to what it is I was doing, and it got them to watch. So you're not drawn, you're not connected to the answer. You are there to create awareness, because once you invite, once you ask, once you do all those things, they're watching, and they are going to be watching you. And when it's ready, when it's time for them, then they will join you, or they'll just keep buying those incredible leggings. So the last thing is, really, really last thing is, if you are struggling, and going back to that, Will, is to just kind of be honest and be real with yourself. We all go through peaks and valleys, right? Like, we all go through the times when recruiting is really, really cool. My really, really high recruiting times are never when the promo is for recruiting. I just want you guys to know that. Like, it's always when recruiting doesn't matter for the promo. So I just already expect that. But we all go through these. And I think just being honest with yourself, what is it that you're not doing that you know you should? What is it that you know would really help, and it just takes a little bit more effort, like that little bit more at night, maybe staying up 5 minutes later and doing something, or sending a message, or, doing something more? What is it? Because we all have it. And what I found in working with myself specifically, but my reps too, and I'll go to my husband and I'm like, I don't know, it's just, this isn't working right now. And he's like, okay, well, what aren't you doing? We always know what we're not doing, but maybe it's kind of hard to say out loud. And so just kind of be honest with yourself, because the only thing you're cheating is yourself, right? And growing your own business. So that's kind of just what I wanted to share tonight about recruiting. And then I wanted to talk about success in 60, because I know that there's a lot of questions. Is there anything else?
Let's pause there. And if does anybody have any questions about the recruiting piece? That was so helpful, Sarah. I know that everybody's going to want a copy of that wheel, so maybe I can grab that. That's so, I just love that. I feel like we could do that for lots of parts of our business. I really also loved when you said that you said you add, or you get to know, like 10 new accounts per week or per month. I just feel like that's so reasonable. Like that, I think we've been on trainings before, at least I have, and I know Monica has, where it's been like, follow 10 new accounts every day, and like and follow, and da-da-da. And it's like, I just was like, no, that's just too much. But I love the idea of picking 10 a month that you're getting to know. And the idea there is that maybe in a year or 6 months, you might have a new friend, and then that's when things happen. I love that. So you're really setting yourself up for future success. It's not about like, I need a rep this month, so I'm going to become friends with this girl. That's probably not going to happen, but it will help you in 6 months.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that helps with my mindset of, I'm not in it just for this promo this month. Right. Like, I want it, like I definitely want it, and I'm doing everything that I can, but I'm really in it for the pay that happens between now and 6 months, right? Absolutely. When she's going to sign up. And so, and what those little things bring in the interim, like until she signs up. And so I think so often with these promos, they're so exciting. And I think we let, like all hell break loose, and we're just like, sign up, you know what I mean? Instead of realizing, like, let's have patience with some of these. Yeah. There's some that are like, let's go after this. And then there's some that are like, you do need to drop those seeds that are 6 months down the road. Right. And that's awesome.
And what we are experiencing this month is sort of like what we worked on 6 months ago. It's like those seeds that we planted then, those are most of the people who are going to join us now. I'm saying 6 months, but you guys know what I mean. Like it isn't often quick. Now, every once in a while, you'll get a rep that just signs up out of the blue or really quick without a lot of prompting, but those are very rare.
Yes.
So
yes,
good.
Totally agree.
If you guys have other questions, feel free to use the chat. It's just so fun to watch you, Sarah. I mean, it's just really
so nice.
fun. You're such a great leader. Okay, where are you finding these people? Through parties or just randoms on Instagram?
Honestly, I try and find people like my tribe. So I try and find people that I want to recruit, and I'll look up hashtags. Now that kind of sounds really random, but one of the ideas that I usually do is I am a stay-at-home mom. And so what do I want to find is, like maybe that is my tribe. And so I will I will hashtag search things that relate to that. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to start connecting with people. Sometimes they come by not stay-at-home mom things, and I'm like, I used to be a runner. I want to relate with runners again. So, I'll hashtag a certain marathon, and I'll go and follow a few of those people and get to know them that way. So I like to kind of keep it like, while your tribe can be, it's specific, I don't think it needs to be one-sided, if that makes sense. Like, your tribe doesn't need to be one person, and they don't all need to be like you. But I think that, who do you want to connect with? Who is your tribe? And find hashtags that relate to those things, because that's how you're going to find them. Or I go to accounts that are similar, maybe in things that I like in those hashtags, and then I'll see who is commenting. One of them was, I think I Googled, why do I keep saying that? Searched a hashtag for Target moms or something, because this girl was like, I love Target. And I was like, hell, I love Target. So I'm like, going to start follow these people. And then I found a whole bunch of people that I was like, you know what? That is my tribe. Like, not everyone that shops at Target fits into one mold, but I feel like you definitely find some commonalities there, and people that you want to talk to and get to know a little bit more. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah. You guys feel free to keep posting those, but yeah, let's talk about Success in 60. So we just had some questions about at the end, the qualification period goes through the end of November, and there were questions about, what if you just signed up? Do you still have to qualify? But so anyway, I'm going to quit talking and I make it confusing, but you do not. So I'll let you talk.
No, you're totally fine. Okay, so Success in 60. I know that this kind of came fast at us. So this is going to be a learning process for everybody, and I'm so grateful. Number one, you guys have had incredible amounts of people qualify from your team, and it has been a success. I mean, more than we ever thought it would be. We expected to have 80 people out of the, I don't know how many people are doing it, over 3,000 with us. And we've had we've had about 90 to 100 just from our team alone. So it's been an incredible success. So thank you for learning with us. We know it's not perfect. We know we're going to keep adjusting, but this is just like infancy stages of Success in 60, and the reasons that we launched it and all those things. Hopefully you guys know those, but just to kind of give new reps a platform, new reps knowing exactly what they need to do, and not only new reps, but new reps signing up new reps, so that we all have a way to streamline what new reps need to be looking at. Like I say, there's lots of different shiny things that you can be focusing on as a new rep. This kind of streamlines it into that. So we're going to talk qualification periods, and I wrote it down because I tried to explain it to Katie, and it took me 10 voice texts that I kept deleting, because I don't know, I've had a migraine today and my brain is kind of like on fire. It's like not working very well, so hopefully this makes sense. So we have a trip right now that we are trying to qualify for, and when you hit Success in 60, you're qualifying for an invite to this trip to Florida. The trip is going to take place in May, and the qualification period is from September 1st to March 31st. Now, that does not mean that we have all the way until then to qualify, but you have reps that are going to be signing up in that time period. They are also going to get the same amount of time that you got to qualify for that trip. So anybody that hits Success in 60 before March 31st qualifies for an invite to go on the trip to Florida. Now, come April, we're going to have a different qualification that they can earn, and it'll probably be connected to Summit. It'll probably be a fun party. We're not quite sure, but there's going to be something else for new reps signing up at that point. So right now, you are qualifying for an invite to Florida. We're also going to be, we've got a Facebook page going. We're building that up, kind of what that's going to look like. As I kind of said, just stick with us, but it's definitely something that you want to be a part of. So what does it look like to qualify? So if you are a rep, let me make sure I'm saying this all correctly. If you are a rep, so qualification for this trip ends November 30th for these people. Current reps who have been a rep before September 1st, and current reps that signed up in September. That is when November 30th is the last date to qualify for Success in 60 incentive trip, okay? So if you are a current rep and you are of senior rep and above, then you need to enroll 4 new reps between September 1st and November 30th. After November 30th, current reps are not can't qualify for this trip any longer. Like, this is your window, okay? If you are a rep, our current rep, before September 1st, and you have not hit senior rep, then you have between September 1st and November 30th to qualify as a senior rep, to qualify to go on this trip. If you are a brand new rep that signed up in September, you have until November 30th to qualify for Success in 60 to get an invite on this trip. Okay, so current reps and anyone that signed up in September, your qualification period ends November 30th. Now, if you signed up in November, you have the month you sign up in, so this is free for everyone, which is why those that signed up in September really had 90 days, right? They had September, October, and November, the end of November to hit. The month you sign up in is month 0. Why we did that is because we didn't want to go, okay, Katie signed up September 20th, and so by November 20th, she needs, October 20th, whatever 2 months from then is. Katie signed up September 20th. By October 20th, she needs to hit senior rep. We wanted to give you 2 full calendar months. So the month you sign up in is month 0, and then you have 2 full calendar months. So let me hurry and clarify that. If you sign up in October is your month 0. Your 60 days, we're going to type this up. Your 60 days start on November 1st and go to December 30th. If your new rep signs up in November, their 60 days start December 1st and ends January 30th. If they sign up in December, that's their month 0. Their 60 days start January, end in February. Okay, so you still have 60 days. Your new reps that come in can still qualify. The month they sign up in is month 0. If they hit that before and sign up and hit it before end of March, they get to qualify to come on the trip.
I think that the part that maybe people are confused about is just if it's like there's 2 groups. It's like new reps and then those of us who have been in for a while. And so we wanted everyone to be able to go to this trip, right? But because some of us were already senior rep, we had to figure out a way to get to have it be as hard as what the new reps were doing, right? So we came up with enroll 4 people. And so just think, are you in the new rep category? Are you in the old school veteran rep category? If you're old school veteran rep, you need those 4 reps between September 1st and the end of November. If you're a newer rep, it's likely, it's different. You likely have more time. But I mean, I think that I feel like that was clear. If you guys have individual, I do. And actually, you sent, I thought your voice message was clear too. So I am going to just keep repeating it, and then I can teach it better. It is kind of a mouthful, and I want you guys to understand and just know that it's not always going to be this much of a mouthful. It's just that we had to draw a line in the sand for a starting place. And because everybody's at different levels, but this is a program for new reps, that's why it's a little bit complicated at the beginning. I think moving forward, once we get to March, I don't think there's going to be any confusion. I don't think.
No.
That would be my hope. And then it just kind of, it's a little more seamless, but just bear with us as we get there. Okay. Can you read that?
So November reps have November, December, and January to qualify, but December reps are not eligible. What if they sign up in December and hit senior rep in January? No, they are. So anybody, whenever you sign up between now and March, the month you sign up in is month 0, and then you have 2 months after that. So if you sign up in December, your December is month 0, and you have January and February to qualify. So does that answer that? But December reps are not eligible. What if they sign up in December and hit senior rep in January before a November rep? Yeah, then they hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you sign up in December, you have till end of February to hit it. Good. So anytime in that period, and you could hit it in your first month, you're totally in. But yeah, it is confusing right now because we needed to, number one, not just let anybody that was over senior rep. We wanted everybody to qualify and put the work in. And so we made it so everybody had to qualify, even those that wrote up the program.
I love that.
And once they're out, like once November 30th, then we're just focusing like, okay, then we don't even have to say, do you have 4 reps? Do you have 4 reps? We are saying new reps. You have the month you sign up in is month 0. And then you have 2 full calendar months to qualify. And then you're qualifying for the trip.
Okay.
Is that a little bit?
I think that's
we're gonna type this up and we are gonna be better. No. So November 30th is not the end all. That is just the end for current reps to enroll the 4 or other reps to hit senior rep if they, from September to November.
That is a good question though, Rachel, because I don't think I did a very good job saying that. I think we've just been saying November 30th, and I didn't do a good job saying anything about March. So that's not your fault. Okay.
Well, there's been a lot of information, so it's kind of hard to go through it all. So
it's going to be good. It's going to be so good. That trip is going to be amazing.
It is. It is. I mean, and a perfect time.
I bet we're going to have like 200 people at that trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think for sure. With how many we've already had qualified.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be like so fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anybody else have questions for Sara? The trip is
going to be in May. Yep. Yes, and we are finalizing those plans. So I promise you're getting those. And so yeah, we will get you that information soon so you can start planning for it.
We kind of needed to know where the trip is for that Zai is releasing. A lot of it, we have to like juggle a lot of information. And that's coming, I think, December 1st or something. I thought.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so we didn't want to plan the same trip that corporate's giving away
Right.
3 months later. That would have been catastrophic.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much, Sara. This was super helpful. We really appreciate your time.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on, and hopefully that's a little more clarification.
It was very good. And I forgot, I did draw a name. I typed all your names into random name picker. Allison Richardson, you win! You win the hat! Woo-woo! I'll mail it to you tomorrow. Okay? Hope you don't have that one. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. And I'll upload the recording in the morning. Thanks, Sara. Bye, guys.